Well, what do you want me to say? Bitcoin. The thing is just an absolute joke. To put into perspective, according to this, it says Goldman Sachs has increased their Bitcoin holdings in each ETF over the previous quarter. BlackRock was 88%, and they loaded up on the Fidelity one at 105%. Bitcoin's going down, man. It's going down. Oh, God. Pow, today. Wait and see. That's the term. What do you want me to say to you guys? I give up with crypto completely. Bitcoin's just going to keep doing what it's doing. It will go up and it will go down. Just buy it and sell it when you can. There's only so much information you can get about a specific coin, marketplace, where you naturally think to yourself, at what point do you move? How many of you have the belief that Bitcoin is being severely manipulated? That's something that's playing on my mind. I know they manipulate price, but boy, Bitcoin, it's one of those interesting ones. You know what? This is what we're going to do tonight. We're going to have a look at price action, dabble into the news, because ain't nothing great happening in crypto anyway. You can tell me about how great crypto is and Bitcoin reserves, and everyone wants to put Bitcoin as their treasury, but I ain't seeing shit happening for Bitcoin. I'm done with it. Let's have a conversation. Look, bond yields climb on Powell's wait and see signals. This guy gonna actually say anything else? Is he even gonna consider what is going on? All right, the new one that's coming up, guys, is the debt ceiling. So just keep an eye out on that bad boy. They're trying to retain as much commitment from people to load up on dollars. That's why they're keeping the interest rates high. AI seems to be all right. They're talking about AI is going to be made in the US. Oh, forget it. What's the point? Have a look. Here we go. Bitcoin just rolls over. I mean, it's been holding true. Like I kind of gave you a heads up to be careful. Don't buy until it gets above here. But, you know, some of you might be like, yeah, baby, just buy. All right, cool. But you know what, man? This thing is a piece of funny. The euro smashed it today. The euro absolutely ripped it apart. It went up really well today. Took out yesterday's high. Did absolutely wonderful. Okay, it's done really, really well. And when the euro goes up so aggressively, given that their yield is so bad, why would you invest in the euro? Well, this thing that we spoke about earlier on today put things into perspective with the rate swap monitor. You know, look at the yield they're going to be getting. See, now it's 1.68. We said it today earlier on at 1.8%, 1.8. All right, that's going to be grabbing investors' attention. New York open, bang, off they go. They're starting to pick up and lock in some yield now. Now that they've got the higher dollar, let's get that, convert into euro, lower yielding asset. It's not going to cost as much to borrow euros. Chuck it into here and make ourselves a couple of percent. Well, not a couple of percent, but 1.6%. Now it'll be about 1.1% on this calculator. So that's important to understand so that you can understand when hedge fund managers are going to be loading up on euros or loading up on dollars, all right? But why aren't they loading up on the BTC, man? Why aren't they loading up on Bitcoin? BlackRock's loading up on Bitcoin. It's gone to 585 right now. It's just doing a slow burn, man. It's just slowly picking it up. Something has to bloody give with this asset. I mean, come on. Look at the yield here. Look at this. They're attacking that liquidity, man. They're gunning for it. And some dudes down here are slapping 24 million at 70,500. We got 7 million at 76,200. Had a big order right here. Not so much a big order, but there she 22 million at 56,000. So where's my 69? 68,000, 22 million on bid side. Wait a second. Where's my 69? You want a bit of 69? I'm sorry. I'm done with it all, man. I've been trading the NASDAQ today, and that was a trying piece of... Oh, God. What did we get today? We made about... Where is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, we made about 6K on NASDAQ today. Where is it? Hold on. I can't even show it to you. There you go. It's green. Yeah, 6,601. It's on my live account right here. I can't even zoom into it because it's just backwards full stop. But we made 6K on that trade. And that was exploiting a W formation on the NASDAQ, which was right about, I mean, I've been at it with NASDAQ. You know what? I don't even care. My trading does nothing for any of you anyway. It's in the past. It's pointless even talking about it. But logic does say that I take the same trades over and over again. I shared it in the Discord and said W formation forming on the NASDAQ. And the one I'm talking in particular is this one right here. Where are you, NASDAQ? You absolute nut job of an whatever you are. Anyways, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this evening I'm just frustrated with the market. Trump talking as well. Like, you get, anyways, how's your day been? Bitcoin is reverse pegged to the euro. Yeah. Listen, I don't care what anybody says about Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin is its own thing. When can I stop cutting my wrist? Wow, bro, man, come on. I know we have a little bit of a rant and what have you, but come on, bro. Yeah. Powell's speech said we would use quantitative easing only when rates are at 0. Can you explain this? So he's making reference to true interest rates. All right, so obviously true interest rates are not at 0 yet. But listen, Powell, all right? Let me just dive into it right here. Treasury rose, okay, fluctuated as Federal Reserve Chair Powell reiterated the central bank is in no rush to cut rates. I'm telling you now, right? I'm going to say this now, all right? Only when they say they're going to increase the interest rates, that's when Bitcoin goes up. Because then it will be deemed a worthy hedge. They're doing the same behavior as they've done before. In 1975, 74, 75, when the bond massacre come into play, all right? The interest rates were flat at 5%, okay? They were going to cut, they were going to cut, they were going to cut. And then bang, shot up. You know what? Wait. This is the mood that I'm in, guys. Right, here we go. So, you're probably not going to be able to see this bad boy, all right? Where are we? Here we are. Down here, 74. Interest rates, 5%. You probably can't see it, all right? Let me move that. Let me get this. Ow. Move that right here. You know what? Listen, anyone that's passing through thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? There's game to this. All right, listen. So, up, can you see? Yes, you can. All right, barely, okay. You can see here. I mean, let me just try and zoom into this. Can we zoom in? There we go. That'll do. All right, and you see that there? That is 1974. All right? 1974, they were cutting the rates, and then all of a sudden they were like, nah, let's just bring them back up again. Bang. And that effectively messed the markets up. All right? That's what that was there. Okay? Again, 5%. Yeah? They get into the habit of cutting, and then they increase it again. Right? We had it here back in 96. Where everything was fine at 5%, and then they increased it yet again. So, whoa, T, man, what you doing, bro? So, to put it into perspective, ladies and gentlemen, I might sound like I might sound absolutely crazy, okay? But let me just sort this. Anyways, yeah, I might actually sound really crazy with this, but tell me why history's not repeating itself. If it's not repeating itself, it bloody rhymes. All right? And again, as long as Bitcoin Or should I say, if the Federal Reserve does decide to increase the interest rates because inflation's being a pain in the back and these tariffs are going to come into play, which will naturally cause inflation, all right? That's when Bitcoin should shine, because then it would be deemed as the hedge, because your dollar's just going to be all over the place. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm sound absolutely bat crazy. Some of you economists might come in and be like, no, he'll never do it, Tino, because of the repo or the money to supply. Listen, this is the Federal Reserve. They can do whatever they want. You know? You can't buy this. You can't buy this. This was awarded to me by Investors Business Daily for being such a long subscriber to them. And when the website went live for the first time back in 99 or 2000, right? I was there paying that £55 subscription nearly 25 years ago, you know? So, yeah. Govind, does Casper look like it has a good trading pattern, getting frustrated with Bitcoin? Listen, anyone that's playing the altcoins, congratulations. That's all I'm saying. I mean, fuck, look at that. Ethereum. The short squeeze ain't played out yet, has it? It just looks like it's a bleed across the board, complete bleed across the board. But how many of you are looking at buying right now? Are you buying? How much do you pay monthly for investment tools and subscriptions? About $3.5 grand. Yeah. I've got Exo charts running on 3 different computers. I've got CME data for 3 different computers. I've got data. I've got that because I might not be in one spot at the same time. So I'll need to access my licenses on various platforms, on various computers. I mean, that doesn't include, no, it does include it. Yeah. So yeah, I pay quite a bit each month just on data. You know, I'm maxed out on TradingView. I've got everything that TradingView could possibly offer. Hell, if they had if they had an option to pay for someone's salary, I'd probably have it and pay for it. I've got everything that TradingView can offer. European stocks, everything. You name it. Indian stocks, markets, the Japanese, you name it, I got it. Because I need access to it just in case. You know? I think you said 92K target for Bitcoin earlier today. Listen, guys, whatever Bitcoin does, all right? Let me be frank with you. Whatever Bitcoin does, if you're going to look at this move to the downside right now and you're going to buy it, then make sure that you're going to take 50% of that. Let's get a good old Fibonacci, okay? Here we are. That's the midpoint of the range, okay? And if Bitcoin is going to be in that manipulative BS style that it is, okay, with the prospect, we need to create a Trump indicator. When he speaks, you don't trade, all right? That's what you do. But if you're going to be buying spot in these ranges right here, I'll be frank with you, if you're buying spot here and it moves up in your favor, get out, all right? Just take something off the table, because it's not trustworthy. None of it is. Something's just not brewing right. All of your data is just geared towards Bitcoin pumping, yet it's not pumping, and they're not going to let it pump until they are satisfied with the flavor of orders down here. It's going to be that story. I really do think Bitcoin is just going to slump. That's what I think. Tino, is there a reverse head and shoulder? Listen, you know what? The structural price action right now, given that where we are with the marketplace, it's very difficult to even make that assumption. Some of you might be like, okay, then. See, this is the crazy thing about hindsight, okay? It's easy to say, oh, why would you say that, Tino, about, structural price action? What I mean by that is if you draw a trend line from, say, here, okay, and you run a short when it breaks that point, happy days, it's gone in your favor. That's hindsight for you, wicked. But at that point in time, I mean, if we do look back at it in hindsight, you hear me saying it over again, the first red vector candle that breaks a 50 EMA, that one right there, It just flipping rolled, didn't it? Absolutely rolled. You know, Brinks box. If it can't close above the Brinks box high and it gets ready to close below the Brinks box low, take the first 15-minute candle that breaks beyond that and closes beyond it, go short. So, and it's in hindsight, it's easy to flipping say. It really is, you know? See, when I'm looking at the NQ and the ES, how can I tell if NQ is front running, lagging, which is stronger or weaker? The correlation seems looser lately. That is correct. You really want to be focusing on the S&P, all right? Sorry, hold on. In terms of movement, if you see the NASDAQ move up aggressively, you can bet the S&P is going to try and pump 2-3 ticks, all right? If the NASDAQ contains itself and still maintains that momentum, S&P is going to follow. But what you want to do is you want to be looking at the order flow that comes in on the S&P and then not so much the order flow on the NASDAQ because it's such a lightly traded asset. But if you were to look at the order flow on the S&P right here, this is the S&P, okay? It's got a lot of contracts, right? So when you see the NASDAQ just spiking up, you want to make sure that you got that data coming in to correlate that, yeah, money's going into the NASDAQ, S&P is probably going to follow suit. It takes the S&P more time to move a wider range than it does the NASDAQ, all right? So when you use the two together, which is what I do, I trade off back to back. So if I'm in a drawdown on the NASDAQ, okay, I'll go to the S&P, and if NASDAQ is dropping down and so is the S&P, but I'm in a position on the NASDAQ, I'm going over to the S&P, waiting to see if it is going to stabilize, take a long, put about 5 to 10 lot size contracts, and then just scalp 3-4 ticks so that I can alleviate the loss on the NASDAQ. And that's usually when you're playing recovery on a position. But my plan is to hold on to the NASDAQ trade. So I can do that all the time with the S&P. And if it works really well in the S&P, then the S&P effectively gets into profit. Then the NASDAQ could stay in its drawdown, but I'm making money on the S&P, which effectively brings it to break even. Then when NASDAQ starts to move back up again, I'm just doubling up and making a killing off it, you know? So that's what I like to do. And it's very tricky, but you've got to really be timing your positions and your plays, man. And with the way this market is, an absolute shit. Anyways, so any other questions? Only sad we talk about so much crypto. Stocks are way more interesting. They certainly are. Stocks are way more interesting. What do you want? Talk to me. Nvidia, not doing too bad. But then again, earnings announcements coming out for Nvidia in 14 days' time. So get ready for some madness with Nvidia. Go to Microsoft. Okay, not doing too much. AMC not doing much there. GameStop not doing much. Meta still holding it out, man. Meta is it's not stopping. Meta has not stopped. Wait a second. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days, man. It hasn't stopped moving up for 14 days straight. There's strength in Meta right now, which kind of gives investors the hope about AI. You got Google with a massive gap down since they lost out on their earnings as such. But again, I mean, natural gas. I mean, gas is going to start running. Of course, there's a correlation with the euro in gas. Usually when the when the euro goes up, gas tends to follow suit as well. So those of you that do trade the euro, keep an eye out on that. Dollar dominance, trading sideways. And then, of course, tomorrow, where we at? Here we go. You waste, man. I'm not interested in you anymore. I hope he gets sacked. Yeah, CPI tomorrow. So whatever happens right now, tomorrow, if they're expecting CPI data to come in at 0.3%, the core CPI, that's very important. So if it does come in higher, gold, where's gold? Where are you, gold, my beloved? There you go. Not doing too badly. Red vector candle at the highs, consolidating sideways. They're going to be keeping everything range worthy from now until tomorrow. That's what my belief is. Are you going to come back tomorrow? Yeah. It's been a while since you talked about a crash. So would this increase on the rate cuts make Bitcoin move up but NASDAQ down? Listen, let me just check. So I need to check my ETF. Hold on. Okay. My ETF's all right. Bonds, this has been fluctuating like crazy, man. I've got an ETF portfolio. I've put 10 grand in and I'm playing the bonds. Okay. I've got Vanguard Total Bond Market, Vanguard Dividend Appreciation, and Vanguard Real Estate and Technological Sector as well. But as I do make adjustments, I'm going to be showing all the platinum members exactly what and the reason why I'm making adjustments to it. Okay. So I'm just checking in on this because I haven't looked at it today, but we'll see where we are with that. Let's just have a look at the options chains over here. Who's been playing the options? Here we go. Oh, MicroStrategy buy calls. Okay, we've got some MicroStrategy buy calls coming into play. Interesting. Coming in towards the close. So lots of buy calls coming in. Got some SPY puts put up as well. Google puts, Tesla. Oh, God. NVIDIA. 2 million on NVIDIA. Another 2 million on NVIDIA. Walmart. They're building some plays on NVIDIA, I believe. Anyways. Okay. I bet more on technical analysis than we see market FUD on news to take those levels. I see Bitcoin daily time frame, fair value gaps around 70K zones. I don't know how they come, but will. You know you're a scalper, but what do you think about 129 SMA, smooth move, 129 SMA? Long when you're above, short when you're below. According to my calculations, it should be the best moving average to trade. 129 SMA. On what grounds are you basing it off? Like, it's... I'm gonna have to check that out. No, I've had a migraine all flipping day. Yeah, dude, I get it. You've Harris Khan. Cool, man. I've read it. Just been observing the last few days. I've not liked the price action. I wait for a setup that I like, then I take it. If no setup presents, I don't take it. Yeah, protect the principle. That's correct. Always protect the principle, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I've never heard of the 129 EMA. Hey, would you consider trading as a whole gambling? Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing. Listen, trading overall, okay, you are speculating. Hedge fund managers. Listen, if you're not hedging, all right, look, you make calculated risks, but principally, if you were to go to someone and say to them, what do you do for a living? And you turn around and you say you're a trader, they'll be like, what do you mean? And then you say, I buy and sell stocks. They'll say, oh, so you're gambling then. Some could call it gambling. You are taking a risk, okay? But it's when you become erratic with it. It's when there's no discipline. No different to when you start a business, you've got your costs. There's the risk of not having any business. And no one might walk into your shop. You take the gamble and you open your business. Everything is a gamble, you know? Everything is a gamble. But it's all down to how long you want to stay in the mindset of a gambler. See, a gambler will tell you how much you can win, but a trader will tell you how much you can lose. Go figure, you know? Hedge fund managers lose money. That's why they're hedging. Prop firms, you name it. Banks, everyone loses money. That's what this game is about. A lot of it is luck. It's just all about how you play your aces, you know? Say you're a risk analyst and she'll think you're the dog's bee. Okay. Why are hedge funds so bad at making money? Well, I wouldn't say they're bad at making money because they wouldn't have so much money to be playing with, you know? Tina, can you explain what the Brinks box is? The Brinks box is the first hour of trading. Well, not the first hour, but it's the 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard to 10 a.m. Technically, it's the first hour of trading in the New York session, all right, which is this thing right here, all right? If you want to learn more about it, I do have the PDF library for the Platinum members where you can dive into a whole checklist that talks about it, okay? But it just breaks down the whole story right here. Where is it? The Brinks box strategy right there, okay? and it just tells you everything you need to take into consideration about it. And I will tell you this now, the hybrid system is about practice. And I've had a lot of questions from people about, Tina, I'm trying to learn this hybrid system and I'm just really struggling to get it. Well, first things first, stop trying to learn this thing at speed. You won't get it. All right. You just won't. You have to put practice in. You have to find one aspect of the hybrid and put it to the test. Okay. If you are new, do this course. For the love of God, do this course. Please do it. Not this one that you can see. Here we go. This one right here. Look at this virgin. Anyways, this course gives you everything. All right. Tells you how to formulate the patterns, how to study, it just gives you absolutely everything, man. It does. Go and do it. You know, every question about the hybrid is there. But then when you start looking at more advanced ways of trading the hybrid system, once you become proficient at the hybrid system, then you can start going into other things about it, like the block trade principle, the Brinks box, breaking down the macros. You can do red candle, green candle formations, the block trades as well, and scaling in, eyes inventory, V-shaped structures, and then checklist part 1. So anyone that has become a platinum member, make sure you're going through these checklists, man. And this one right here is the main one that you want to be focusing on, because that gives you the overview of how to approach the setups that I provide on a day-to-day basis. We flopped on our setups today with the exception of gold and euro and NASDAQ, because NASDAQ did pump and then it just come back down again. But yeah, crypto just wiped us across the board. And it's not always happy days, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be straight with you, man. This game is brutal. And those of you that are still trading, well done, because you're actually maintaining the balance. All right. Just don't let yourself get liquidated. Just always use light size. Okay. I made 6K today. Could have been 15. But, you know, that's my hindsight shit talking again. All right. But we made something, you know. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bid you all farewell. Have a good night, and please watch out for Asia tonight. Take care of yourselves, gang. Peace.